The doctorfish, Acantharus chirurgus, also referred to as the doctorfish tang, is a species of tang that has sharp, scalpel-like, dorsal fins. They are normally a blue-gray to darkish gray coloration with pale brown vertical brown stripes. The doctorfish is among the hardier tang species, however needs to be stored in a big tank offering as ample area to swim freely, and a very good quantity of rock for it to cover. The doctorfish is greatest stored in a fish-only tank as it could nip at small inverts and corals. They additionally should not be stored with species of its personal form, however will be stored with different tanks. It will eat the most meaty ready meals, herbivorous meals, and algae in your tank. This pancake-shaped reef fish is blue-gray to brown colored with skinny, darkish bars down its sides. It is typically provided as a recent catch regionally, however could cause ciguatera poisoning in people. Handle with care throughout an encounter due to the sharp spines hidden within the caudal peduncle. These vegetarians play a vital position on the reefs by consuming the algae that may develop over the coral and kill it. The doctorfish tang, recognized for its sharp scalpel-like barbs on both aspects of the bottom of the caudal fin, has a bluish-gray oval body with faint black vertical traces within the midsection. The doctorfish tang is a comparatively hardy tang that may get very sizable. The doctorfish tang could be very lively and has a steady urge for food. Keep with different peaceable tangs and have loads of reside rock for grazing and shelter. Tangs will eat nearly all fish meals. Ocean nutrition pellets are an ideal weight loss plan. Feed tangs with loads of marine-based seaweed, as this may maintain them wholesome. Try placing seaweed on a veggie clip, or break into small items and feed 2 to 3 occasions per week. Ocean nutrition seaweed comprises garlic, which helps the immune system in these colorful fish. Doctorfish tang description. Reaching the most size of 39 centimeters and 5.1 kilograms, Acantharus chirurgus will get its widespread name for the buildings known as scalpels that are discovered on both aspects of the caudal peduncle. The scalpel is used throughout fights with different doctorfish and as a protection mechanism in opposition to predators. Its coloration usually varies from blue-gray to darkish brown. 10 to 12 vertical bars are all the time current, however, usually faint. The edges of the caudal, dorsal, and anal fins are blue. There can also be a faint blue ring that may be seen encircling the scalpel on both aspects. There is a black morph, as nicely, however, it's neither a subspecies nor a regional mutation. It has solely been documented on a restricted variety of occasions. Range and habitat. The fish is usually discovered amongst rocky outcrops and coral reefs. Its distribution consists of the Atlantic from Massachusetts to Brazil, and the tropical west coast of Africa. It has the most important distribution of its genus of 38 species. Doctorfish tang behavior. Acantharus chirurgus spends its daytime grazing on algae and natural detritus. Its enamel is specifically formed for scraping algae and plant matter from rocks. Because it swallows its meals entire, it has a gizzard like an organ within the gut, crammed with particles of sand, which assists to grind meals before it begins the digestive course. Acantharus chirurgus, also referred to as the doctorfish tang, is a species of tang that has sharp, scalpel-like, dorsal fins. They are normally a blue-gray to darkish gray coloration with pale brown vertical brown stripes. The doctorfish is among the hardier tang species, however, needs to be stored in a big tank offering as ample area to swim freely, and a very good quantity of rock for it to cover. The doctorfish is greatest stored in a fish-only tank, as it could nip at small inverts and corals. They additionally should not be stored with species of their personal form, however, will be stored with different tanks. It will eat the most meaty ready meals, herbivorous meals, and algae in your tank. Overall, the doctorfish is an efficient fish to accommodate in a fish-only aquarium, however, can even thrive in a reef tank, if no inverts are current. Spawning happens throughout the night hours on a bunch of events. Each egg is lower than a millimeter in diameter, and comprises a small quantity of oil for flotation. The translucent plankton-like larvae hatch within 24 hours of fertilization. They are laterally compressed and diamond-shaped with massive eyes and pectoral fins. Many body components, equivalent to scales in the dorsal and anal fins, don't develop till the larvae have reached 2 to 6 millimeters in size. The scalpel doesn't seem till they're about 13 millimeters long. As the scalpel grows, the anal and dorsal spines shrink. Once the fish reaches around 25 millimeters in size, it strikes the underside, the place it continues to develop, finally reaching sexual maturity in roughly 9 months. Geographical distribution. This is probably the most wide-ranging species of Acantharus within the Atlantic, and is discovered from Massachusetts to Brazil, together with the northern Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean. It may also be discovered alongside the tropical western coast of Africa. Doctorfish tang biology. This fish is high-bodied and compressed, leading to a pancake-like form. The eye is excessive on the pinnacle and the mouth is small. The dorsal fin is steady. Of explicit curiosity is the sharp, scalpel-like backbone that's situated on either side of the body on the caudal peduncle. This backbone will be prolonged and used to fend off aggressive encounters. Its enamel, specialized for scraping algae, is spatula-like in form, shut collectively, and notched on the sides. Coloration. The doctorfish can differ barely in its total shade. It can change from blue-gray to darkish brown, and pale or darken dramatically. The darkish shade section is often noticed on reefs, whereas the pale shade section is seen over sandy bottoms. It has from 10 to 12 skinny, darkish vertical bars seen on the edges. A broad pale space is usually current on the caudal fin base, whereas the caudal backbone sheath is darkish. These bars separate the doctorfish from different regional Acanthera species, just like the blue tang and the surgeonfish. There is a faint blue ring that encircles the scalpel on either side. The edges of the anal, dorsal, and caudal fins are blue, whatever the body shade. Size, age, and growth. Doctorfish frequently attain about 12 inches in size, with a maximum dimension of 14 inches. Doctorfish tang food habits. The doctorfish is a diurnal grazer, feeding mostly algae and natural detritus discovered on compacted sand and rock bottoms. They kind small teams, and are sometimes noticed education with ocean tangs as they feed on algae. During feeding, doctorfish have a tendency to hand their heads down, whereas choosing on the algae with its specialized enamel. Since the fish swallows its meals entire, it should rely upon a novel adaptation for breaking apart the meals into smaller items. It has a gizzard-like organ within the gut that's partially crammed with sand particles. This organ apparently helps the fish to grind up meals prior to digestion. Predators. The doctorfish is preyed upon by massive piscivorous fishes together with tunas. Doctorfish tang importance to humans. The flesh is of fine high quality, nevertheless just isn't extremely valued in most areas. This fish can also trigger ciguatera poisoning if eaten. Ciguatera poisoning is attributable to fish consuming dinoflagellates that happen on useless corals of different algae. The dinoflagellates have a toxin that builds up within the fish's liver, and if it reaches a sure degree, it may trigger poisoning to people who eat the doctorfish. Poisoned people report having gastrointestinal issues for as much as a number of days, and a normal weak point of their legs and arms. It could be very uncommon to be stricken with ciguatera poisoning. Doctorfish are collected commercially for aquarium commerce. Danger to humans. An unwary human who tries to deal with a doctorfish endangers the possibilities of being badly lowered by the caudal backbone. These spines, on each side of the caudal peduncle, are prolonged from the body when the fish becomes excited. The fast, thrashing sideways movement of the tail can produce deep wounds that lead to swelling and discoloration, posing a high danger of infection. The ache can final for hours, till finally subsiding right into a dull ache. It is believed that some species of Acantheras have venom glands whereas others don't. The spines are used solely as a way of safety in opposition to aggressors. Wounds solely happen by way of dealing with the fish. So, today we are talking about some details about doctorfish. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more videos.